Anambra State government asked communities to promote harmonious coexistence to accelerate development. Federal government initiates measures to improve cocoa farmers' earnings. And grain export from Ukrainian seaports increases. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good morning and welcome to the news. My name is Nonye Nwokoye. Now, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has extended felicitations to the Archbishop, Ecclesiastical Province on the Niger, and Bishop of Awka Diocese, Most Reverend Alexander Ibezim, on his 60th birthday celebration. Governor Soludo joined millions of Anambra and well-wishers to acknowledge God's blessings on the life of the Archbishop as he marks 3 years of archiepiscopacy, 12 years episcopacy, 20 years of marriage, and 38 years of service in God's vineyard. The governor commended the exemplary leadership he has provided over the years as an Anglican prelate and pious devotion to the service of the Lord. He noted that Anambra State, Nigeria, and indeed the global community are proud of the exceptional commitment, passionate and visionary leadership he has provided in diligently piloting the affairs of the church and selfless service to humanity over the years. He, on behalf of his family, the government and people of Anambra State, congratulate him and appreciate the support he has provided to his administration in the journey towards building a livable and prosperous homeland, and prayed God to grant him grace, good health, long life, and more wisdom in the years ahead. Congratulations to the Archbishop. The wife of the governor of Anambra State, Mrs. Nonye Soludo, has called for tougher sanctions to end the current surge in human trafficking. Mrs. Soludo made the call when a delegation from the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, visited her at the Governor's Lodge, Amobia. Daniel Ezigwe has details of that report.
It's in Anambra State to train a task force for the implementation of National Action Plan on Human Trafficking, which was initiated by the federal government in March this year. Addressing the delegation, Mrs. Soludo said that with stringent laws and follow-up actions, the deadly business will lose its incentives, while those who engage in it will be forced out of business. The governor's wife also explained that she has been engaged in a series of meetings with different women groups, urging them to take charge of their homes and to also get involved in recreative agriculture. She also said that plans are already on to train women in different skills and assured the delegation of a stronger working collaboration, adding that as a child advocate, she sees the task as a personal obligation. On her part, the Commissioner for Women and Social Welfare, Mrs. Ifeanyi Obinabo, explained that her ministry and the Anambra State Command of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, have a mutual work network, but stated that they are already setting up a shelter for those rescued from trafficking and abuses. Earlier, the commander of Enugu Zonal Command of NAPTIP, Mrs. Nneka Ajie, explained that human trafficking has already taken a whole new level, with 80% of cases happening within Nigeria. From the Governor's Lodge, Amawabia, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
Chief Ken Emeakaye has emerged the caretaker committee chairman of Okija Town Union. The nomination of Chief Emeakaye and other caretaker committee members of Okija Town Union was held at the SSG Conference Hall, Government House, Awka. We have details.
Chief Emeakaye was unanimously elected by members of Obahuabo Obahu, Uhuobo, Uhuowele, and Ihitabu Ihite, Okija, in Ihiala local government area of Anambra State. The elected executive members present also unanimously elected Barrister Ikenna Obidiegwu as the Secretary General. Mr. Nwabweze Ume was voted in as Financial Secretary, while Comrade Chukwuebuka Ilo was also nominated the Public Relations Officer of the Caretaker Committee of the Town Union. Addressing the stakeholders from the three quarters of the town, Anambra State Commissioner for Local Government, Honorable Collins Mwabunwanne, who represented Governor Chukwuma Soludo, reminded them that they collectively voted in the Caretaker Executive to serve for 12 months to enable them draft the Constitution of Okija Town Union, and congratulated them for peaceful nominations elections, which he described as exemplary. Commissioner Nwabunwanne explained that the state government will, at the end of the 12 months, organize elections that will usher in elected executive that will serve the town with the laid-down constitution. The local government commissioner made clear that nobody that served in the new caretaker committee will be allowed to contest in the main town union election that will be conducted at the expiration of 12 months. He charged them to live in peace and carry everybody along, even as he urged them to support the Soludo administration in fighting crime and criminality in their town and the state, stressing the need for them to know their neighbors and report criminal elements in their domain to appropriate authorities. In his remark, the Deputy Speaker, Anambra State House of Assembly, Honorable Pascal Abodike, congratulated the elected caretaker committee members and commended them for keying into Governor Soludo's vision and mission, as well as demonstrated that Okija is a peaceful town while promising them efficient and quality representation. Responding, the caretaker committee chairman, Chief Emma Akaye, appreciated Governor Soludo, Commissioner Collins Nwabunwanne, and Honorable Pascal Abodike for their efforts in putting to an end the lingering differences and restoring peace and stability in Okija town, and promised to abide by the rules. Present at the event were Asatu President General Barrister Titus Abudo, Asatu Zonal Leader Sir Choka Dennis, and Barrister Ozemena Erinne, among others.
Now, people from all walks of life this weekend converged on the palace of the traditional ruler of Alo, Igwe Mark Anthony Okonkwo, to celebrate 2022 New Yam Festival. The festival attracted indigents from the 8 villages that make up Alo town, government functionaries, traditional rulers, captains of industry, religious friends, and well-wishers. Queen Anibogo has details of the report.
In a homily during a mass to mark the commencement of the festival, a visiting priest, Reverend Father Cosmas Uzodimma, said the Feast of Transfiguration reveals that Jesus is the Son of God, and listening to him will lead to salvation. After the mass, cabinet chiefs, popularly known as Ndiche, dressed traditionally in white clothes and red cap, heralded the entrance of Igwe Okonkwo with sounds from elephant talks, Odueni, for the commencement of the festival. In his remarks, the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters, Mr. Tony Collins Nwabunwanne, described the event as symbolic as he recalled how he was instrumental in giving certificates of recognition to Igwe Okonkwo as the authentic traditional ruler of our community during the administration of former Governor Willie Obiano. Presenting free Sienna vehicles to some cabinet chiefs on behalf of the traditional ruler, Mr. Nwabunwanne said the gifts are to appreciate them for their labor in the community and to encourage them to do more. On behalf of Igwe Okonkwo, while performing the traditional breaking of kola nut, thanked God for his benevolence on our community and prayed for journey mercies to all that grace the occasion.
Na mirikiti mmadụ ya eju ebe ata ọ ba ha ji bata ebe a ya ka ha eju wee na ibe a ga-eri ebe a ga-abụ ngozi nyere onye ọbụla bịara ebe a wee na-asị olisa were abụọ ya na otutu ya gọzie ọjị ka anyị bụ ụmụ ya nwere ọtụta site n'ife ọbara nwa ya bụ diwe n'anyị.
For the traditional ruler of Ukulu, Dinukofe Council area, Igwe Peter Uyamwa, New Yam Festival is not fetish but serves as an avenue through which he will appreciate God for seeing them through each year's farming season and for a bountiful harvest. He prayed for peace and progress in our community and commended Governor Chukwuma Soludo, whom he said has come to bring solutions to the problems in Anambra State.
Wee na-ekele Chineke ekele n'olu anyị wee jee n'ọrụ ugbo n'ọbịa ebe nwere akpọ nwa ewee jee ọsịa ibe onwere onye agbọtara onwere onye akpịkpa ibe a akọkwara n'ala uji wee mepụta nke nnekwu a wee welie ebu ndị wee kene Chineke.
Others who spoke during the event include the younger brother to the traditional ruler, Mr. Chidozie Okonkwo, a friend from Nise, Chief Innocent Madike, while Chiefs Olisaemeka Iboma and Chukwuemeka Ikegwogo, who received the free vehicles, appreciated Igwe Okonkwo for the exceptional gate show. This brings to 15 the number of free vehicles the traditional ruler has given to his cabinet chiefs since the inception of his reign 8 years ago. The celebration featured cutting of new yam, feasting, performances by many cultural dance groups, and masquerading.
Saving lives of accident victims has been identified as a collective responsibility. According to our correspondent, Queen Animogo, this report was part of the views of speakers at the official launching of John Chris Save Life Memorial Foundation held at ASU Secretariat, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka. The report.
Foundation, Mrs. Florence Ifediora, lost her two biological brothers, late Mr. John and Mr. Christopher Obierika, in a motor accident 21 years ago, who died as a result of late arrival of help. John Chris Save Life Memorial Foundation was then conceived as a means of saving the lives of accident and emergency victims by facilitating rapid responses to accidents and other emergency situations. In his remarks, the Anambra State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Afamu Obidike, commended the organizers of the initiative, noting that nobody knows when he will be involved in an accident. While describing road traffic accidents as one of the leading causes of death in Nigeria, Dr. Obidike called on all hands to be on deck to find solutions to the problem.
We are trying to establish what we call state emergency medical service and ambulance system that will also launch a full-scale 2.0. But we did a very lot of initiatives that we have mentioned all along to feed into the program in order to save lives. The advantage of this is we will not know who will be the next victim because RCA can happen to anybody. So on this note, I want to encourage us to answer it as quickly so that at the end of the day we'll be able to have a wonderful launching and ceremony.
The Commissioner for Police, CP Echeng, represented by SP Pascal Baruko, said it is the duty of everyone to save lives and frowned that people who, on getting to the scene of an accident, become more concerned with stealing valuables belonging to the victims instead of saving their lives.
Look at the number of the victims. Very important. If there is anything you could do at that point in time to save those lives, you have to do them, because every life is very, very important. Every life is very, very important. And while you are trying to save those lives, try to see if you can make a contact, more especially medical teams, to see if they can help you to save those lives.
Earlier in her speech, the founder, Mrs. Ifediora, based in America, recounted how she was among the few survivors of a road crash that claimed the lives of her two brothers, and how she began to nurse the dream of floating a foundation through which she can use to avert the tragedy that befell her brothers from happening to other people. She explained that the work of the foundation is to essentially come to the aid of people involved in motor accidents by taking them from the point of impact to the nearest hospital and make initial financial deposits for immediate medical attention. Mrs. Ifediora appealed to spirited individuals, corporate organizations, and government to assist the foundation in the noble cause with funds to enable them accomplish their mission to save more lives.
It hurt my soul, and I've been planning, thinking of what I will do for my people, to save life, because like in US, we do have what we call emergency response. If there's any emergency or accident, you just call 911 and they will respond immediately and save life as much as as quickly as possible. But here in our country, Nigeria, it's not like that. So that's why each time I think about it, it hurt me so much. So I decided to do something to help humanity, because those children that died every day, those adults that died every day, they could be governor, they could be president. So whatever we can do is not just me. This cause is for everybody, for all the individuals, the government, everybody to support, so we can save humanity, we can save lives.
In their separate comments, a representative from Vehicle Inspection Officers, Engineer Daniel Eze, and chairman on the occasion, Chief Actor Ike Hartford, noted that anyone who conceived the noble initiative for the good of mankind is doing the work of righteousness, and pledged their support to the organization. Others who spoke during the event include Mr. Eric Ngeseong, Mr. Uzochukwu Ilukwe, Mr. Felix Zontal Akolisa, and Barrister Amaka Ezeno. Queen Anibogo, ABS News.
Away now from state stories, the federal government has inaugurated the National Cocoa Management Committee to see to the reestablishment of the Nigeria Cocoa Board and also ensure cocoa farmers benefit from the living income differential of $400 per ton to improve their living standards. Inaugurating the Cocoa Management Committee in Abuja, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Muhammad Abubakar, stated that the purpose of the committee is to work out modalities for Nigerian cocoa farmers to start benefiting from this initiative like their counterparts in Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire ports. Abubakar tasked the committee members, saying that one of their immediate tasks is to come up with an urgent draft charter for the operations of NCMC, which will enable an executive bill to be forwarded to the National Assembly for legal backing so as to meet the demand of joining the Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire initiative to deliver a living income differential ton, which will in turn improve the livelihood of smallholder cocoa farmers in the country. On business news, more Nigerians have been calling on the federal government to jettison its proposed ban on commercial motorcycles, popularly called Okada, and mining activities in the country. Speaking in Oka, a Lagos-based Minister of God, Reverend Peter Ezenwaji, said while he supports the need to secure the country for the good of all Nigerians, he, however, disagrees with the proposed procedure, which he said will not serve the intended purpose. Paul Ezoke reports.
Reverend Ezenwaji said the proposal is not people-oriented as it affects sectors that are important economic activities which are prime to the stability of the country and necessary for national security, noting that motorcycle generates employment for millions of Nigerians through the value chain, stressing that implementing the proposal will throw many families into poverty. He noted that with the present poor road infrastructure crisscrossing the country, banning motorcycles will increase level of hardship and frustration in the country, and urged the federal government to provide better alternatives before considering such proposal. Reverend Ezenwaji urged Nigerians to take ownership of the country by protecting their permanent voter cards and using them to enthrone people-oriented leadership that will change the narrative in the country.
Well, the proposal, by and large, will occasion more hardship and inflict pains on the citizenry. The pains will outweigh the benefits. Thousands and millions of Nigerians depend on Okada for their daily living and livelihood. These Okada riders have dependents. These Okada riders have families. These Okada riders have relatives who depends on them for their welfare. Where government intends to ban the use of Okada in Nigeria, government is obligated to provide alternative whereby these people will be gainfully employed.
Also speaking, the Anambra State Chairman of Miners Association of Nigeria, Chief Henry Boeli, cautioned that the proposed banning of mining activities would inflict serious harm on Nigerians' economy and further aggravate the present hardship across the country. Chief Boeli pointed out that the Nigerian mining industry employs several people in both formal and informal economy, while the entire mining value chain has over the years engaged hundreds of thousands of Nigerians gainfully, thereby reducing the burden of unemployment, and any attempt to disrupt activities in the subsector would increase level of unemployment and throw more people into poverty. Chief Iboli warned that banning mining activities will also increase the challenge of insecurity, as more people will no longer have a source of livelihood, while investment in the national economy will be drastically reduced, urging the federal government to provide the right environment for the mining sector to thrive. In Oka, Paul Ezoke, ABS News.
On the foreign scene, 4 ships carrying Ukrainian foodstuffs have sailed from Ukrainian Black Sea ports as part of a deal to unblock the country's sea exports. Ukrainian and Turkish officials said the 4 bulk carriers were loaded with almost 170,000 tons of corn and other foodstuffs. The Ukrainian Seaports Authority said the resumption of grain exports is being overseen by a joint coordination center in Istanbul, where Russian, Ukrainian, Turkish and United Nations personnel are working. The UN and Turkey brokered the deal last month after UN warnings of possible outbreaks of famine in parts of the world due to a halt in grain shipments from Ukraine that had squeezed supplies and sent prices soaring. A foreign flagged ship arrived in Ukraine for the first time since the war started in February to be loaded with grain. Infrastructure Minister Alexander Kubrakov said the ships that have left Ukrainian ports included Glory with a cargo of 66,000 tons of corn bound for Istanbul, and River Wind loaded with 44,000 tons of corn heading for Turkey's Iskenderun, the Turkish Defense Ministry said. On sports news, Nigeria's representatives in the 2020-2023 seasons of the CAF Interclub competitions will know their preliminary opponents tomorrow. Rivers United, the winner of the 2021-2022 Nigeria Professional Football League, will campaign in the Champions League, and runner-up Plateau United, third-placed Remo Stars, and yet to be determined 2022 Atel Cup champions will play in the Confederation Cup. According to reports coming from the CAF headquarters in Cairo, Egypt, the draw will be conducted at its office. In the first round, the first leg will come up on the 9th to 11th, and the second leg from 16th to 19th, 2022, while the second round first half fixed for the 7th to 9th, and the second leg from 14th to 16th October 2022. The Confederation Cup additional round will have its first leg on the 2nd and 9th of November 2022. And with that sports news, we come to the end of the news. But just remember, you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Oka. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And the main news again. Governor Soludo has commended Archbishop Ibezim for selfless service to humanity. Anambra State government has asked communities to promote harmonious coexistence to accelerate development. Federal government has initiated measures to improve cocoa farmers' earnings. And on the foreign scene, grain export from Ukrainian seaports has increased. And the special message, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that's the news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Nonye Mokoye. Good morning and have a great day.